Hi, Sodis. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. So I came across this video, and the story is not a nice one. Before I get into this video, I am going to say that if you are not ready to be a nurse, you don't have to be a nurse. It is not a by force thing. Stop going into nursing, I mean to say, to show how bad or how untrained or how something has eaten so deep in your system that you cannot, that the best you can do is to look for a way to pour it out on another person, especially people that look like me, because this story is just it is not rare, because black women have been complaining and screaming about this all these years. But I never knew that they would graduate from black women to their kids, right? Because tell me how a premature baby that is being taken care of, I mean, trying to stabilize, because you all know how tiny they come out looking, right? And a nurse is actually out there breaking their bones. I don't know how many she has broken already that got her caught. And I am asking, how many did she break before they caught her? Let's get into
This 26-year-old monster, Erin Elizabeth Ann Stratman from Virginia, was arrested on malicious wounding and felony child abuse as she was going around the NICU breaking the bones of black babies. I cannot make this up. As if black women didn't have enough to worry about when giving birth. In 2021 alone, the maternal mortality rate for non-Hispanic black women in the U.S. was 69.9 deaths per 100,000 live births. This is nearly 3 times the rate of non-Hispanic white women. Studies say some of the contributing factors to this are the cumulative physiological effects of chronic stress. Nobody is disrespected more than black women in this country. Nobody has more obstacles and barriers to face in this country, to overcome in this country, than black women. But I dare to say that the number one reason is because of racial bias in healthcare. So apparently what happened is that these young babies were having unexplained fractures, so the hospital increased surveillance, and the surveillance systems found her breaking the bones of these babies. Now, typically babies that are in NICU are already fighting for dear life, and then you've got monsters like this that are going out there and deliberately, maliciously causing harm. I personally spent 10 years in prison, and I can assure you it will not be nice to her.
As a legal nurse consultant, I want to address the deeply concerning situation involving Henrico Doctors Hospital, NICU, in Virginia. A nurse has been charged with maliciously wounding and felony child abuse following an investigation into unexplained fractures in infants. Here's what we know so far. Admissions to the NICU were suspended after 3 infants suffered unexplained fractures in November and December of 2024. Henrico police are conducting a thorough investigation, including video reviews and re-examining similar cases from 2023. The hospital has implemented enhanced safety measures and continues to work with authorities. From a legal perspective, this case highlights 2 critical aspects: individual accountability and systemic oversight. Were protocols strictly followed? Were there missed opportunities to intervene earlier? While one nurse faces charges, this is a broader reminder of the importance of safeguarding our most vulnerable patients. To families, this is an unimaginable betrayal of trust. To healthcare professionals, it's a stark reminder of our responsibility to uphold the highest standards of care and ethical practice. What are your thoughts on the systems and safeguards needed to prevent tragedies like this? Let's discuss.
Y'all, this story got me a little bit emotional because it hits really close to home for me. So in Virginia at Henrico Doctors Hospital, they have a NICU, okay? And in that NICU, babies started showing up with unexplained fractures and wounds. Now, this apparently happened over the summer, then it got a little bit better, and then it started happening again. It also happened a few times in 2023, to the point that the NICU said, we are shutting this down, no more NICU admissions until we figure out what's going on. And an investigation was launched. And it turned out a 26-year-old nurse by the name of Elizabeth Strotman was the one who was allegedly committing these acts, apparently for just funsies. Now, she's been charged with malicious wounding and felony child abuse, but let me kind of put my take on this. My daughter was born at 29 weeks and 3 days. We spent 43 days in the NICU. These babies are the most vulnerable of the most vulnerable. And the fact that somebody could harm children, let alone premature infants, is beyond reprehensible. And I hope that the full weight of the law comes down on her. So I will say this too. If you had a child in the NICU at Henrico Doctors Hospital in Virginia and you dealt with a fracture sometime while you were there, you may want to reach out to investigators.
This your girl Nurse Fee with the Nurse T, and baby, y'all need to get in here. Nurses, nursing students. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all gonna be on the news with your head down and your hands behind your back working in these nursing homes. I want to talk everything about nursing homes today. And in light of the 18 people getting arrested in Virginia, due to the neglect of that patient that passed away, my heart goes out to that patient and their family. And also the alleged DON, because I don't know if she really was the DON or not, but she was standing up and the old man was becoming combative and she attempted to hit him, swing at him with a broom. Those two things going on in a nursing home. You know, the nursing home is just, it has so many layers to it. It really does. And there's two sides to it. On one hand, I know firsthand what goes on in these nursing homes when it comes to them being understaffed. That's the main issue when it comes to nursing homes. They're understaffed. I would tell anybody, I don't care what neighborhood the nursing home is, how cute it look, how nice it smells. It's only as good as the staff that's in the building. If you don't have enough staff, then it doesn't matter. It just all goes to hell in a handbasket. And nurses show up to work in nursing home and CNAs and be working with the skeleton crew. And they come there and do the best they can with what they have. And instead of walking out the door, a lot of them are committed and they're loyal to their residents and they show up every day to take care of them people. I done seen aides had to cut up towels because they didn't have enough linen in the building and make briefs. I've just seen it all. I've seen the way these people run these nursing homes. Let's be real. There's a certain population of people that buy these nursing homes. A lot of them are kin to each other, their families, their friends. They flip these nursing homes like I flip wigs, baby. They'll buy them. They'll suck them dry, buy the lease supplies, do the bare minimum, and then in a year or two, they'll be done sold it or called it another name or changed the LLC or whatever. This has been going on since the beginning of time. But nevertheless, nurses and CNAs show up and do the best that they can. And it's very unfortunate that families, sometimes families, you don't see them at all. Sometimes they'll come only on the holidays. And when they do, they coming in, they complaining, they this and that, not knowing that it's a blessing that anybody even showed up here today to take care of your loved one. However, let's stick to the facts. The fact is that nurses have a professional license and we are held at a higher standard. We are the number one most trusted profession. So that means that even though you've showed up today with a good heart, a willingness to work and help people when nobody else will, if something go down, and you got 30, 40, 50, or 60 people, and you clicking and point click here that you did this, and everybody vitals and respirations looking the same, or whatever the case may be. When something goes down, you're gonna take the fall, period, by yourself. And it's a possibility that you may go to jail behind it. Years ago, you used to have to worry about just losing your license. Oh no, it's bigger than that now. They booking us now. You'll go to jail. So my thing is that nurses need to understand the power that we hold and stop all this bitch assness when it comes to jobs. Like you can't get another job. Like you can't work at another place. We got to stop it. And I've been saying this forever. We have to stop it, and we have to stop it collectively. Because when one nurse go in a facility and try to stand up and say, hey, I'm not willing to take 50-some people, she look like a problem because the other nurses do it and accept that. And then when something go wrong, they will never close the facility. Understand that. Get that in your head. If something goes wrong and an investigation pop off and they get the running cameras back and looking at documentation and things like that, I don't care what the outcome is. They coming for the nurse. They coming for the nurse. They coming for the healthcare staff. They will not close that facility. The state know exactly how that facility is ran when they come there and do a survey and get them an IJ tag every year. But they find them, and the state allow them to pay the money and keep the doors open. So nurses have to take control of their careers. And if we collectively stand up as nurses and say, hey, we're not doing this, we're not accepting these patients, because we don't have a union. A lot of states don't have a union. I think California might, but I know here in Illinois, as nurses, no, we don't. And I also have a compact license in Wisconsin. We didn't have one there either. You got to stand up for what's right. I recently went to a facility a month ago on a per diem basis. They told me I was going to have 56 people on night shift. I said, who going to have 56 people? Oh, well, you're going to have 56 people. They're all stable. They're long-term care. Ma'am, I don't care. I will not be clicking out. I'm not going to be responsible for that. That's too many people. I cannot predict what type of night I'm going to have. Somebody may have a change of condition, fall, die, whatever the case may be. I'm totally responsible for that. I will not do that. So the night shift supervisor, older lady, got upset with me, was talking crazy. I said, look, ma'am, I'm not finna disrespect you and you're not finna disrespect me. Either you can find somewhere else for me to work, or I'll politely gather my belongings and head to my truck. And that's exactly what I did. Of course, the next morning when I woke up, they had canceled all my shifts there and probably DNR'd me, but I don't give a damn. As long as I have a license to work somewhere else, I don't care if I can never come back here. That's what you have to do. Because see, now that I've done that, they thought I'm a problem. They think I'm crazy because I don't want to take 56 people. You all have to stop it. Y'all got to stop it. And we already are at a disadvantage when it comes to the new nurses that are getting out of school. They willing to take all the risk it all for a bog bag, scrub jumpsuit, a Stanley Cup, and a few dollars. I'm just keeping it real. It ain't nothing wrong with none of that stuff, but y'all got to stand 10 toes down. I don't care if you are new or whatever. They gonna hold you at the same standard as anybody else. You cannot go before the board of nursing and talk about you couldn't do X, Y, and Z because you had these many people. They will ask you, well, what would a prudent nurse do? Why would you work at such a place? Why would you accept an assignment like that? Once you accept the assignment, you are now responsible. And if you got 50 or 60 people, then you're responsible for taking care of those 50 or 60 people. Nurses need to stop it, point blank and period. It starts with us, and I guarantee you it'll end with us, because they cannot run these places without a nurse. We can do a CNA job. We can play med tech. We can play UN secretary. We can even play the janitor. We babysitting. We doing all this stuff. They cannot get nobody to come in there and do that job but a nurse. Period. The administrator can't do it. Activities can't do it. The social worker team can't do it. It has to be a nurse. So if nurses start standing up and stop all the bitch assness, we may see some type of change. But until then, it's going to be exactly like that. And that's why I've made the decision to never, and I hate to say never, I really do. But if I can help it, if God is my witness, I do not ever want to work back in long-term care. I'm getting older. When you young, your mind is different. You willing to take certain risks. Things never happen to you. You feel like you got control of the situation until one day something happened. And then the family sues. And now they want to pull cameras. And now they want to pull documentation. And now the money that you made is not even enough to retain a lawyer that you're going to need to try to keep your ass out of jail. We got to stop, y'all. We hold the cards. Nurses aren't looking for jobs. Jobs is looking for nurses. And I guarantee you, if nurses hold hands and stand 10 toes down about these patient ratios and this unsafe working conditions, they can't do shit but change it. But you got to stand 10 toes down and quit acting like y'all ain't a nurse and you ain't a whole health professional out here with a license. Y'all better stand for some or fall for anything. This your girl Nurse Fee, and I'm out. The 18 people getting arrested in Virginia due to the neglect.
This is a primary example of why I do coaching for new to practice nurses, and also now heavily focusing on documentation. If this is your first time seeing my video, my name is Tanya. I'm your favorite new nurse coach. I'm here to help you build your confidence and help you thrive in your first year of nursing. So with my experience of 18 years of being a registered nurse and over a decade of being a nurse practitioner, I've worked a few places, right? Gained some experience. But what I have noticed is, particularly when I'm working as clinical faculty, is that like students are coming out of nursing school and they're lacking in so many areas. Not only are they lacking in confidence, which is one of the things my agency helps you with, they're also lacking on basic skills of documenting, learning how to document. And with the current nature of what's going on with nurses in the healthcare profession and being given harsh and even more stricter things regarding their licensures and going to jail, it's very important for you to know how to document. So I'm going to be hosting a masterclass at the end of this month that's going to work with you, teach you what you need to know from professionals in the field, persons who have been auditors for a nursing home and who have been CNOs of different nursing facilities that can show you what they're looking at whenever they are looking at these documentation files for the gamut of patients that they see. So if you want to learn how to document, protect your license, and also be a safe nurse, go ahead and sign up for the wait list for the masterclass. I'll see you inside.
Y'all, I am so triggered this morning after reading the story about this 26-year-old NICU nurse, Erin Stratman, in Richmond, Virginia, who has been charged with breaking the bones of premature babies in the NICU. Authorities are saying that her crimes took place between 2023 and 2024, and this father states that one of his twins that was in the NICU was one of this nurse's victims. The reason this triggers me is because many of you all know that I am a preeclampsia survivor ×3. I've had 3 babies in the NICU, having my last child 4 years ago, who was born 3 months early, weighing 1 pound. She was considered a micro preemie. And some of you know that I dealt with a lot of medical bullying while I was at the hospital down in Florida, and it was so intense to where I ended up having to move my baby to another NICU, which was an hour away from my house, after being harassed and followed by security guards in the NICU. In this slide, I wanted to share with you guys my daughter's diaper to show you how small and vulnerable these babies are. And another thing that I noticed from being in the NICU 3 times, spending months and months in the NICU, a lot of the babies that I saw were Black babies. There were a lot of African American babies in the NICU. And this is because not only do Black mothers have a lot of issues that go undetected when they're pregnant, which can lead to premature babies, but they're more likely to have C-sections. You know, C-sections are pushed on Black women more often. So guys, we have to spread awareness of this. This is why when I was in the NICU with my babies, I never left their sides. The only time I left their side was to go to the bathroom and to go shower. And I was always very cautious, and it was to a point where the nurses were pretty much saying, you know, we've never seen a mom like you. We haven't seen moms like you in a long time. Right. And it made a lot of them feel uncomfortable because I was there watching my baby. But we need to spread awareness about this story because there are a lot of Black and brown babies in the NICU, and we need to make sure these babies are kept safe.
This is the Brownstone Center News Update. I'm Paulette, and here is news and information that you can use. A 26-year-old former nurse, Erin Elizabeth Ann Stroutman, has been arrested following an investigation in unexplained fractures sustained by infants in the neonatal intensive care unit at Henrico Doctors Hospital in Richmond, Virginia. The hospital reported that in late November and December 2024, 3 babies were found with unexplainable fractures, mirroring incidents involving 4 infants in the summer of 2023. In response, the hospital temporarily halted new admissions to its NICU and initiated an internal investigation notifying families and relevant authorities. Stroutman, who was employed at the hospital during both periods, faces charges of malicious wounding and felony child abuse related to an incident on November 10, 2024. Henrico County Police are reviewing extensive video footage from the NICU and have reopened previously closed cases from 2023 as part of a comprehensive investigation. The arrest has deeply affected families, including Dominique and Tori Hackey, whose son Noah suffered a fractured tibia while in the NICU in September of 2023. Initially, the cause of Noah's injury was undetermined, but a subsequent Child Protective Services investigation concluded it resulted from physical abuse by a hospital employee. The Hackeys, along with other affected families, are now seeking accountability and justice. And in response to those incidents, Henrico Doctors Hospital has implemented enhanced safety measures, including additional staff training, comprehensive examinations of NICU patients, installation of new security systems, and the introduction of live streaming technology to allow parents to monitor their infants remotely. The hospital has expressed shock and sadness over the developments and is cooperating fully with law enforcement and regulatory agencies to ensure the safety and well-being of all of its patients. As the investigation continues, authorities are urging anyone with information to come forward. The case has actually prompted a broader discussion on patient safety protocols in neonatal care units, emphasizing the need for vigilance and stringent safeguards to protecting vulnerable Black infants. For more news and information that you can use, including lifestyle tips and podcasts, head on over to brownstoneworldwide.com. We'll see you around.
I just saw this video by Jalen Johnson about a NICU nurse named Erin Stroutman who was found hurting children. She was arrested after 3 preemie babies in 1 year were found with broken bones. One was a femur, it was a twin, and her femur was snapped. Now, in my mind, there was actually 7 children who were injured, and she was arrested on like a cutting, stabbing, wound charge of a infant. I haven't done the research into exactly the infant and how they're doing, but I will do an update in the future. But I must say that NICU nurses, as many times as me, as an ultrasound tech, have gone to the NICU to do scans, which is multiple, there have always been more than 2 nurses in the NICU, if not 2 at a minimum. I've never walked into one nurse sitting there. There's always a full staff. Good. So the fact that she found the time to hurt these babies means that if she had more time to be alone, there would be more hurt children. And what about the nurses that get reported? This is a very suspicious situation.
They carry the evil of their ancestors. They carry the evil of their ancestors. Virginia nurse arrested for breaking bones of Black newborn babies in the NICU. And this is why I don't stop talking about racism. Because imagine being a Black woman where there's already a stereotype that you can handle more pain than white women. So you do not get as much care as white women. And then on top of that, you have to worry about your baby being in pure danger because there is a demon in that hospital with you. And for all those people that say, I don't see color, race is not that important. You know what? It's not important when you don't have to fear for your life on a daily basis. I'm sure it's not important to people who don't have to worry about their baby skull being fractured by one of these pale pirates. I'm sure. And this is why they want you to forget so bad, because these people are still actively out here and willing to harm you simply because of your skin color.
Just in case you thought systemic racism wasn't a thing, let's take a look at this story of a Caucasian nurse who's been breaking the bones of NICU infants. Yes, you heard that right, NICU infants. While they're in the NICU, trying to hold on for dear life, grow, put on some weight, bond with their caregivers, and make it successfully out of there so that they can go on to live their lives. She's trying to end their lives before they even started. And to think that she was granted paid administrative leave just goes to show you how systemic this racism is. If this is not a sign for us to rally up, get our money up, either leave or be our own bosses, and ensure that we're not entrusting the care of our precious little children to people who could potentially want to harm them, I don't know what is. I am livid. I'm sad. I'm heartbroken for the families of those babies, and I hope they get the justice they deserve by her being...
This is all I got from this video.
Yeah.
And this is not the first time something like this has happened or it's happening, mortality for black women experience hard times, during childbirth. That is something we have not, it's something we have known for so long, right? And the fact that some people refuse to understand each time Black people talk about mortality rate when it comes to Black people, now they are no longer targeting Black women, they are targeting the offspring of Black women. I don't know how this whole video is. Maybe I don't know if I am having a bad day or the video is making me this emotional, but whichever one it is, this is atrocity. It can only be an evil person that will wake up, right, and see where a child that was born or that is born, right, with so many conditions. You know how tiny they are? They usually are. You all know. I shouldn't be the only one knowing about how premature, how they look, right? Very tiny. So some being born 3 months before the birth, some, 2 months, right, before the birth, and someone is sneaking in their rooms, in and out, breaking babies' bones, Black women's babies' bones, right? Because when we try to fight about some certain things going on or happening to people that look like me, it looks like Black people are loud. But one thing I know for sure is that we have to continue to be loud, because it is only when you are loud that people will hear you. But when you close your mouth, nobody will hear you, because they say a closed mouth is as beautiful as a closed destiny. That is what it is. See, I don't know how to say this, but I am saying this from the bottom of my heart. Some people are wicked. And I have also seen nurses. I have not seen a Black nurse since I have been on this learning process, because what I have been doing is a learning process. I don't know it all. right? Since I have been doing this, I have never seen where a black nurse maltreats or do something not nice when it comes to a pregnant woman or their babies, right? All the videos we've been seeing are the other way around. I am not, now let me tell us something. I am not always coming here to make it look like we are the perfect community. I and you, we know our community, that there is nothing like perfection, right? But one thing you and I know that we have human sympathy. And there are some things we will not wake up to do, no matter what is going on or how you hurt us or something like that. We make sure we deliver. And when we deliver that from the bottom of our hearts. We don't do it for sake of, we do it for humanity's sake. Now, let me say this. How many bones did she break before they found out? How many bones? How many premature babies' bones did she break before they found out? Now, I don't know how to say this, but I am trying so hard to hold myself because you all already know the platform, what may happen when it comes to things like this. But I am saying this and I am saying it loud. Some people are just pure evil. Because if you are not pure evil, you would not want to, like, what did a newborn that hasn't even, what did she do or what did he do to you? What did the baby do to you? That you are breaking bones. What did the baby do to you? Now, I have seen videos. I have brought countless videos. When I say countless videos that I cannot even count how many that I have brought, where these people always show you what nurses exhibiting the rare disease in them, and eventually they get their license and they go into the world and unleash what they know how to do best. Check around. Think, you absolutely will remember countless that I have brought here. Who are their victims? Yeah. See, I really do not know. You know, there is something that I have learned, and I am already applying it. You see, critical conditions requires critical action, right? There are some things you do not keep quiet. Sometimes I understand that maybe shock might probably numb you. You know, sometimes shock numb you. But there is something that I also know about African parents, because each time I talk about African parents, Black African Americans, Black people, we are all connected if you check it. And each time I talk about African parents, there is something I know about them. They don't joke around or they don't mess around with their kids. So the best I can tell you is that I never ever mess around with your kids or with your child. Because when people think that they know how to play this game, you tell them that you are well educated and you know your rights. And I hope this case does not stop here. And wherever she is in jail, I hope she never, ever smell the light of the day, because she does not deserve to be among human beings. She deserves a special place, a very special place inside there. And one thing I don't want to hear is that after a year or 1 month, they said there is a governorship or governor pardon or presidential pardon. If you pardon something like that, you are also part of the problem we are facing on earth. Because earth deserves people with humanity. Because if you lose your humanity, you are not supposed to be on earth. You deserve somewhere else. I mean, I feel so bad. I don't have a child, but I feel like if anybody hurts my nephew, my niece, or people that are close to me, their children, it definitely will burn me. And that is how you see how No matter how quiet someone is, that person might not be all that quiet. I mean, you probably get to see the other part of the person somehow or sometime, you know. I don't know how the parents that are, how they are doing, how they are faring, but I am sending all my love to the community, to the family, to the friends, everybody that you all just stay close to the parents because, man, this really hurts so bad. Bye for now.